If you need more focus, productivity, and motivation, this video may change your life. I used to struggle when it came to sitting down and focusing on tasks, especially when I had something that was more complex, like organizing a lot of information or trying to organize my Google Drive, or just working on a really big project. I've created a really quick and efficient routine that helps me to drop in to focus no matter what is going on in my life, no matter like if I'm feeling stressed or overwhelmed. I have a process that works every single time, and I've shared this with many other people and helped them to tweak it and make it their own so that they have an anchor and a go-to system to drop into focused energy when they would otherwise be procrastinated. So anytime I'm feeling resistance to working, or I'm having a hard time and maybe I'm procrastinating, or I'm, checking social media more often, or my emails, and I really just need to drop in, the very first thing that I do is make a cup of coffee. That might seem really obvious, but specifically bulletproof coffee. Now, I literally just put butter in my coffee and stick it in the blender. I also put a ton of cinnamon and a little bit of cayenne, just gives a little bit of, so good. So the whole idea here is just mixing fat with your coffee, and it has to be blended, so it has to emulsify, helps to deliver the caffeine in a sustained way so that you're not getting a huge spike and then a crash afterwards. If I put butter in my coffee, it's a completely different experience for me than if I put like a splash of oat milk or just drink it black. When I was like 24, 25, I spent a lot of time and money with exploring all of these biohacking techniques and nootropics and all of these different things to get clarity and focus. And honestly, like of everything I tried, I just come back to a cup of coffee, but it really has to have the butter or some kind of a fat in there. Otherwise, I will get the jitters and it's not fun. So a cup of coffee or green tea. So sometimes I'll have green tea. And green tea is awesome because there's this real like mental sharpness and also relaxation in the body. Now, if you don't have caffeine, this isn't going to work for you. But if you are willing to drink caffeine and you really need to focus, a cup of coffee does wonders. So a cup of coffee is kind of obvious. It's going to help you focus. However, it's the next part of this routine that really makes this so powerful. So I have some rosemary essential oils here, and I don't have a diffuser or any fancy things. I literally just have this bottle of rosemary next to my desk, and I sniff it whenever I need to focus, whenever I need to pay attention or I need clarity. I will literally just take a great big whiff. I don't know if you're actually supposed to put this on your skin or not, but sometimes I just like put it a little bit under my nose. And like my eyes feel more open and my mind feels more sharp. You could probably do it with like eucalyptus or sage, but I personally love the rosemary oil. So you can just get it basically anywhere that sells essential oils. Now, there's two routes that I take from here. If I've got a lot on my mind, then I will first do a brain dump. I will just sit down on my computer or pen and paper, but I usually use computer, and I will just write all of my thoughts. I actually close my eyes while I'm doing it because it doesn't really matter if I'm like making a full sentence or if my keys are even right. The whole point is just to get my thoughts out on the page and do a brain dump. If I'm feeling a little bit stuck or emotional, sometimes just like, I don't want to do this. This sucks, blah, blah, blah. I'm tired. I don't know what to do. Where do I start? This sucks, whatever. I just kind of get that stuff out and it actually leaves my body. So it's a really great thing to do if I'm feeling like extra resistant, to just do a little brain dump. Sometimes I get some insights, but most of the time it's really just about getting the stuff out of my brain onto the paper or the screen, and then it's gone. So I don't always do that. I only do that if I'm feeling extra resistant or stuck or procrastinating a lot. So whether I do that or not, the next thing that I do is set a powerful intention. And here's how I do that. First thing I do is from the center of my heart, I imagine that there's a bubble of energy. So I close my eyes and I push this energy out of my body. So any stuck energy, tired energy, just lazy energy, I just push it out of my body. Anything that doesn't belong to me. Maybe I had a conversation with somebody, my mind is kind of thinking about that, but I need to focus. This visualization pushes the energy out of my body, and then I keep growing it until I'm the bubble is expanded. And so I'm now sitting in a bubble of my clear energy. So I take 4 or 5 minutes, not even. I probably take like 2 or 3 minutes to do this. And I just feel the energy just being pushed out of my body and out of my space. And then I'm sitting there in this clean, clear bubble of my original frequency. Then I set an intention, and it sounds like this. I am clear, I am focused, I am whatever I'm needing, present or motivated. But for me, it's always clear and focused. Those are the two things that help me to drop in. I'm clear, focused, and organized. When I was going through my Google Drive folder a few months ago and trying to like organize all my files, that was one of the affirmations that I used. So to set an intention, I use it like an I am statement and an affirmation. Now, I have lots to say about affirmations. If you've watched my other videos, I always say affirmations don't work. They're not going to make any changes. But let me explain when an affirmation does work, because in this case, I know I can be clear. I've done it before. It's happened before. I know I can be organized. It's happened before. It's something I've experienced. I know that about myself. So in the moment, if I'm a little bit scattered, saying I am clear, I am organized, brings me back to that. It's an instruction. I know I can do it. And so it just gets me in that energy. However, if I don't believe that I can be focused or organized, it's not going to work. If deep down, a part of my unconscious self-identity is that I'm lazy, it's not going to work. For example, last year I worked with this man who was in his early 40s and he was overweight. He had acne. He was not feeling good about himself. He didn't feel confident. He didn't like his work. He wasn't in a relationship for like almost 10 years, and he really wanted to be in a relationship. And he came to me and he said, I don't know what to do with my life. So we did a couple of sessions together, and we identified that the root cause of his self-sabotage behavior was that when he was a child growing up in school, he had teachers that always told him he was lazy. His dad said he was lazy. The gym teacher said he was lazy. And at such a young age, he just unconsciously accepted, I'm lazy. So that became a part of his identity. And any time throughout his life, as he got older, something difficult came up or there was a challenge, he unconsciously knew himself to be lazy and did not rise to the occasion. So he would avoid difficult situations, he would avoid conflict, he would avoid confronting and having difficult conversations or overcoming challenges. So in our sessions together, we freed him from this old, unhelpful, and actually completely inaccurate story, because he was actually working really hard all the time. He would work like long shifts, like 10, 12-hour shifts, but he wasn't allowing himself to see actually how much of a hard worker he was, because he saw everything through the lens of I'm lazy. This was all unconscious, by the way. He didn't know that coming to me. We got to the root and found this one opinion created this entire life for him. So when we shifted that story for him, he started to feel more confident and empowered. He started taking better care of his health. He lost a ton of weight. And I got an email from him a couple months ago saying that he was in a new relationship and he got a new job. So here's the important thing to understand is that if he would have used affirmations before our sessions together, saying like, oh yeah, I'm confident, I'm focused, it wouldn't have worked because he unconsciously believed himself to be lazy as a part of his identity. But because we upgraded his self-identity to believe in himself, to be able to handle difficult challenges, and to actually enjoy living his life more. No amount of affirmations would help him before, when he had this idea, this unconscious idea that he was just a lazy person and that's just who he was. There was nothing he could do about it. But after I helped him get to the root cause on the subconscious level and empower him to a more confident self-identity, then he started to believe in himself. And he was able to actually use affirmations to motivate him even more. So this is really important, because when you look at a lot of videos and people talking about the law of attraction and using affirmations, if you have some kind of unconscious pattern that goes against the affirmation, it's not going to be very effective, or it'll give you a little bit of results, but it's not going to take you the whole way until you shift your unconscious self-identity. Anyways, this video is about routines. Let's get back to it. So the first thing that I do is have a cup of coffee. Second thing is sniff my oils. I forgot to mention also music. I listen to binaural beats and I listen to the exact same track every single time. It's by Magnetic Minds. It's a free video on YouTube. I'll put the link in the description below if you want to listen to it. And I listen to the same one every time. There's tons on that channel, but when you are using something like a scent and a sound, you're creating anchors, okay? The other thing that I do sometimes if I'm feeling a little bit antsy is I'll clap my hands together and rub them just to create a little bit of heat. So it just like brings energy into my hands, and it also kind of shifts things a little bit. I'm like, okay, it's like getting ready. So I'm sniffing the oil, I've got the sounds on, I'm rubbing my hands, and then I'm so ready to go. I do this every single time. So when I do it, it literally within 2 to 3 minutes will drop me into this mindset of now it's time to be focused. So there's so many things that you can try to use here. Clearing your energy with the bubble, okay? When you're in your clear energy, you sniff your oil, and then you drop in to your affirmation of what do you want to feel right now? Do you want to feel love and open and relaxation? Do you want to feel clarity, focus, motivation? Do you want to feel inspiration, creativity, and mind opening new solutions? You can choose what energy you want to work with. You can mix and match these. You can use a couple of these. You can use all of these. Like I said, the ones that are my go-to is the coffee, the essential oils, and the affirmations. Sometimes I do a mind dump. Sometimes I need to clear my energy. Sometimes I'll shake up my hands. So I play with a few things, but the point here is to create an anchor. What that means is that you're creating a physiological stimulation that can now recall all the times you've done that same thing. So every time I sniff some rosemary essential oils, it reminds me of times of focus and it drops me into that. So let me know what kinds of things you do, if you have any routines like this or what you're going to try, how it goes. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. This is really like one of the most powerful things, whether you're needing more focus and you want to do it like this in the context of sitting down and getting some work done, or you can also do this if you're needing to relax after work, or if you're about to go into a social situation and you want to get into a certain kind of energy. Creating anchors is a really powerful way to direct your mind and your energy to create a very specific result.